Admiral William Carter stood by the big window of the U.S. Defiant. He watched human ships leave Council space, the huge space station that once showed how 17 alien races could work together now only reminded humans of unfair rules, bias, and limits on what humans could do. "Tell me what's happening," Carter said, his voice angry but controlled. Commander Susan Miller walked up with a screen in her hand. "All our ships are accounted for, sir. We're leaving as planned. The Council wants an emergency meeting." Carter gave a short, bitter laugh. For 5 years, they ignored us when our people were dying. Now they want to talk. He turned away from the window. "Don't answer them. Our president already told them what we think. Just 2 weeks ago, the Rigelians attacked 3 human colonies without warning. Even though humans were full members of the Council, the other aliens voted to do nothing. They talked about old treaties and non-interference rules. This was the last straw after years of being treated poorly. The Council is sending diplomats after us," Miller said. "Let them. It doesn't matter. Earth has decided." Carter watched the Council station get smaller as they moved away. "How long until we reach the junction?" 4 hours to the transit junction, sir." Carter nodded. The transit junction was a massive artificial wormhole hub the humans built. The Council only allowed it reluctantly. This amazing piece of technology connected the whole galaxy. And now humans would take it with them. "Get ready to shut down the transit system when we arrive. From today, humanity is on its own." What no one knew yet, not even Admiral Carter, was that when humans left, it would start a chain of events that would completely change the galaxy forever. The aliens who looked down on humans were about to learn a hard lesson about dependence and respect, and the cost would be higher than anyone could imagine. 1 month after humans left, Ambassador Krell from the Orcs alien group walked back and forth in his room on the Council space station. The screen in front of him showed failures all across the galaxy's travel routes. "This can't be real," he said, his lizard-like skin turning blue from worry. The humans couldn't have hidden their tech so deep in our systems, but they had. For 20 years, human engineers secretly built special backdoors into all the technology they made for the galaxy. The travel networks, message systems, and trade route maps all used human technology that was now being turned off. On Earth, President Laura Wilson spoke to all human leaders. "We gave them our ideas, our hard work, and our lives," she said in a strong voice. "And they treated us like we didn't matter, ignored our safety, and left our people to die. No more. Today starts a new time for humans, free, strong, and not held back by the Council's rules." All across alien space, the effects hit hard and fast. Without the human transit system, trips between stars now took months instead of hours. Trade stopped. Messages took weeks to reach their destinations. On Mars, Dr. Alan Peters watched over the final shutdown of human systems from the Galaxy network. "All systems are now offline," said his helper, Olivia Reyes. "We're completely cut off from the Council's network." "Good," Peters said, watching as the last connection disappeared on his screen. "They never thanked us for what we built anyway." Back at the Council station, an emergency meeting fell apart as alien representatives yelled at each other. The Venlil alien was the loudest. "The humans warned us for years. They told us the Rigelians were breaking rules. They showed us proof they planned to attack. What did we do? Nothing." The Rigelian ambassador stood up tall, looking down at the others. "This is what we said would happen. Humans always think of themselves first." "Maybe," said the old Krakodal leader, her feathers shaking with anger, "because we gave them no other choice." As the Council argued, ordinary people across the galaxy started to realize how much they had depended on human technology. Spaceships were stuck in ports. Food deliveries stopped. Medical supplies couldn't reach distant planets. The Council had always seen humans as the newcomers, the young species that needed guidance. Now they were learning just how wrong they had been. 6 months after humans left, the galaxy was falling apart. Without human technology keeping things running, Old fights between alien groups started again. On the border planet Vega Prime, now an important place, Richard Evans found himself in a surprising spot. Before, he was just a regular human diplomat working with a small alien group. Now, aliens from 3 different species were trying to get his attention. "The Orcs group offers you better trade deals and protection from our military," said the Orcs diplomat, pushing a data crystal across the table. Evans didn't show any emotion. "And what do you want from us?" "Access to human travel technology. Nothing else." These kinds of meetings were happening everywhere in old council space. Human knowledge, once taken for granted, was now the most valuable thing in the galaxy. The council, thinking too highly of themselves, never made humans share how their best technologies worked, just the finished products. On Earth, human leaders talked about what to do next. 12 former council alien groups want to be our allies, said Defense Secretary Samantha Wright. Most are offering big things in return. "What about the Regellians?" President Wilson asked. "They're moving their warships. Our spies say they're using the chaos to take over more territory. They've already conquered 3 worlds that used to be under council protection." Wilson's face got serious. "And what is the council doing about it?" "Nothing effective. Without the human travel system, they can't move their peacekeepers fast enough. The whole security system is falling apart." On the moon, inventor Jason Howard finished work on a new faster-than-light communication device, one that would work without the systems humans had built before. "This will change everything again," he told his team. "The galaxy thought we were just fix-it people keeping their networks running. They're about to learn we were the designers all along. While human worlds built defenses and got ready, the rest of the galaxy kept breaking into pieces. Old friendships between aliens ended, and new ones formed based not on shared values, but on who could protect them right now. The careful balance that had kept peace for hundreds of years was gone. The aliens who once looked down on humans now came begging for help, but humans remembered who stood by them when they needed allies, and who did not. 1 year after what people now called the Breaking, the Regellian Empire had taken over 7 worlds that used to be under council protection. The Regellians, always wanting to fight, were no longer held back by council rules or human military power. Fleet Commander Sandra Beck of the Earth Defense Force got a call for help from the Venlil homeworld. The Venlil were the first aliens to make friends with humans, and they had stayed loyal even when others hadn't. "They're asking for help right away," Communications Officer Greg Davis told her. "Regellian ships have gotten past their outer defenses." Beck looked at the map of space on her screen. "How long would it take us to reach them? Without our transit system, 3 weeks at top speed. Too long." Beck closed her eyes for a moment. "Tell Earth Command, I'm taking the 7th Fleet through the secret transit point." The secret transit point was humanity's best-kept secret, a small hidden wormhole made with experimental technology. It connected Earth directly to where the main transit junction used to be. Using it would reveal its existence to everyone, but Beck felt she had no choice. 2 days later, Regellian Admiral Vorax watched in shock as human warships suddenly appeared around the Venlil homeworld. "That's impossible," he said angrily. "They cannot have traveled that distance so quickly." On the bridge of the Earth ship Intrepid, Commander Beck opened a channel to the Regellian fleet. "Regellian ships, this is Commander Sandra Beck of the Earth Defense Force. The Venlil are under human protection. You will leave immediately or face the consequences." The Regellians responded by attacking. What followed was the most one-sided battle since humans left the Council. Human ships, improved with technologies developed without Council restrictions, tore through the Regellian fleet easily. On Earth, President Wilson spoke to the people again. "Today, we showed that just because we left the Council doesn't mean we abandoned our values or our friends. Let this be a clear message. We don't want war, but we will not allow attacks against peaceful worlds, especially those who stood by us when the Council would not." The message spread across the galaxy. Humans were still powerful, and they were choosing sides in the fights breaking out across former Council space. After the battle, Commander Beck stood on the bridge, looking at the Venlil homeworld on the main screen. "The Regellians will be back," her second-in-command said. Beck nodded. "And we'll be waiting. The galaxy is learning an important lesson today." "What's that?" he asked. "That Earth remembers its friends," she said, "and its enemies." 2 years after humans left, what was left of the Galactic Council held a special meeting. Only 9 of the original 17 alien groups were still part of it. The others had either joined new alliances or been conquered. High Counselor Nera of the Krakotl birds spoke to the small group. Her once bright feathers were now dull with age and worry. "We must face the truth," she said, her translator changing her bird-like singing into words everyone could understand. "Without humans and their technology, the Council cannot keep order. The Regellians grow bolder every day, and the Orcs group is taking advantage of poor worlds by offering protection at very high prices. What do you suggest?" asked the Zarn representative, his jelly-like body pulsing with doubt. "The humans have made it clear they don't want to talk to us." "A peace mission," Nera replied. "Not to ask them to come back. That chance is gone. But to talk about using their travel system and getting some technical help." On the moon, Steve Morgan, Earth's new leader for foreign affairs, heard about the approaching Council group with mixed feelings. "They've asked to meet on neutral ground," his helper, Judy Ross, told him. Morgan laughed bitterly. "There is no neutral ground anymore. They can meet us on Mars, or not at all." The Council group arrived 2 weeks later, led by Nera herself. It included representatives from the remaining loyal Council races. The talks were tense and difficult. "We know we made mistakes," Nera said, speaking directly to President Wilson. "The Council was wrong to ignore human warnings about the Regellians, wrong to care more about old treaties than the safety of human colonies." "Your apology comes too late," Wilson replied coldly. "We lost thousands of our people in those attacks." "We understand," Nera continued. "We don't ask for humans to rejoin the Council. We ask only for limited access to human travel technology, to prevent more conquests and suffering." The talks lasted for days. Finally, they'd reached a deal. Humans would provide limited technical help to fix critical systems, in exchange for exclusive mining rights in 3 resource-rich star systems and formal recognition that disputed territories now belonged to humans. As the Council group left, Morgan turned to President Wilson. "Do you think it will make any difference?" Wilson watched the Council ship until it disappeared from view. "No, the galaxy as we knew it is gone. This is just caring for a dying patient." That night, as news of the agreement spread, many human citizens celebrated. But military leaders knew the truth. This wasn't a victory. It was just the beginning of a new galaxy, with humans at its center. Whether that would be better than the old one remained to be seen. 5 years after humans left the Council, the galaxy looked completely different. The Galactic Council, once the highest power, now controlled barely a quarter of its old territory. In its place, 3 major powers had risen. The Earth Confederation, made up of all human worlds and 11 friendly alien species, had become the strongest force in trade and technology. Their controlled travel points allowed for fast movement and trade, creating great wealth for member worlds. The Regellian Dominion had conquered 14 resource-rich star systems, creating a military rule that grew by conquest and forced labor. The Free Systems Alliance, a loose group of independent worlds led by the traitor Arxer, had positioned themselves as the third option, neither with Earth nor under Regellian control. On the edge of human space, the science station on Delta Pavonis had become an unlikely neutral meeting place where representatives from all 3 powers could talk secretly. Dr. Nancy Rodriguez, the station's civilian leader, found herself hosting these delicate talks more often as tensions grew. "The Regellians have moved their fleet to the Protean border," reported Dan Shaw, Earth's intelligence officer. They're testing how fast we can respond. And the free systems? Rodriguez asked. Playing both sides as usual. They're selling shield technology to the border worlds while making mining deals with the Rigelians. Rodriguez sighed, looking out at the twin stars of Delta Pavonis. 5 years ago, we thought leaving the council would make things simpler. It did, Shaw replied grimly. Before, we were held back by 17 different species with competing interests. Now we only have to worry about 2 major competitors, both predictable in their own way. What none of them realized yet was that beneath the surface of this new 3-power system, something more dangerous was developing. The breaking of the galaxy had created empty spaces in the outer systems, where ancient technologies and forgotten threats were waking up after thousands of years of sleep. On a remote listening post at the edge of Earth space, communications specialist Lily Warren detected a strange signal repeating from the direction of the center of the galaxy. Pattern matching complete, said the AI assistant. Signal contains math sequences consistent with artificial origin. Not matching any known species. Warren stared at the display, feeling a chill down her spine. Send priority alert to Earth Command. Classification. First contact protocol. As the message raced toward Earth, Warren continued monitoring the strengthening signal. Whatever was coming from the galactic core, it had chosen the moment of greatest division in known galactic history to make itself known. 10 years after humans left the Council, leaders from 24 spacefaring species gathered on Earth. The first time so many different aliens had met together since the breaking of the old Council. The reason was visible on every news screen throughout human space. Huge objects that were clearly built by someone were coming from the radiation zones near the center of the galaxy, areas everyone thought were too dangerous to live in. President Kevin Russell, the third human president since humans left, spoke to the gathered aliens in the United Nations meeting hall. What we face is something we've never seen before, he said, his voice serious. Our probes and long-range scans confirm these are not natural things. These are ships or stations of enormous size and unknown abilities, and they are moving on purpose toward populated space. The Rigelian war leader, attending with a rare peace pass, stood to speak. The Dominion has also seen these objects. Our study suggests they follow the ancient space lanes, routes that are older than even the oldest council records. The Orcs chief negotiator added, the Free Systems Alliance has found artifacts from abandoned worlds near the core. They suggest a civilization that once spread across the galaxy, but moved to the core regions millions of years ago. In the viewing gallery, Admiral William Carter, now retired, watched the meeting with a sense of having been here before. Beside him sat Commander Susan Miller, now Director of Alien Studies. History repeats itself, Carter said quietly. Once again, we face an outside threat that requires unity. Miller nodded. The difference is, this time we're negotiating from a position of strength. Humanity is no longer the newcomer asking to join an established order. Below, President Russell continued. I propose a new agreement, not a return to the old council, but a mutual defense pact. Each civilization keeps its independence and internal government, but we coordinate our response to this potential threat. The debate was heated but ultimately productive. 10 years of changing alliances and small conflicts had taught all sides the cost of division. The emergence of a potential outside threat simply sped up what many had begun to see as inevitable, a new galactic order with humanity as its cornerstone rather than its newest member. 3 days later, the Earth Accords were signed. While not as comprehensive as the old Council Charter, they established clear rules for mutual defense, scientific cooperation, and diplomatic engagement with the approaching entities. After the signing ceremony, Carter and Miller stood on the balcony of the UN building, looking up at the night sky. Do you think we'll do better this time? Miller asked. Create something more fair than the old Council. Carter thought about the question. The old Council failed because it forgot its purpose, to serve all its members equally. It became rigid, unable to change. He smiled slightly. Humanity's greatest strength has always been adaptation. Perhaps that's what the galaxy needed all along, not our technology, but our way of thinking.